Why you're increasingly reluctant to start but keep blaming yourself for laziness. Are you like this too? You open your laptop, ready to create, with a head full of ideas, but none of them ever get started. You feel lazy, undisciplined, uninspired. But actually, it's not that you're lazy, you're just too smart, too afraid to start. This isn't laziness, it's a common psychological phenomenon called initiation resistance. Hello everyone, I'm T&M, a channel dedicated to helping creators overcome obstacles. I understand that struggle of having everything ready, just lacking the final push when you're clearly prepared, but you hesitate to hit the start button. This feeling can be truly frustrating, right? You might have always thought this was your own problem, that you weren't trying hard enough or weren't disciplined enough. But today, I'm here to change your perception. I want to tell you that this is absolutely not your fault. What you're experiencing is a more common and subtle psychological trap than you imagine: initiation resistance. It's like an invisible wall standing between you and your work. So, why are we increasingly reluctant to start? Let's break down 4 major traps and see if you're also caught in these psychological mechanisms where being too smart backfires. 4 major traps preventing you from starting. Trap 1. Information overload. Too many versions in your head, decision paralysis before you even begin. The first trap is information overload. In this era, information explodes to an unimaginable degree. You want to write about a topic, a quick search, and wow! You're flooded with data, various viewpoints, and all sorts of best practices. You think, I need to consider all of this. And what happens? Your brain gets overwhelmed by this massive amount of information. Before you even start writing, countless versions are already running through your mind. Is this beginning good enough? Will that argument be too shallow? Is this example not new enough? You haven't even begun creating, and you're already caught in endless decision paralysis. Your brain is simply overwhelmed by all possibilities. When there are too many choices and information is too complex, people instinctively choose inaction because it's the path of least resistance. It's not that you're lazy, it's that you want to do everything perfectly and consider every detail, which ironically leaves you paralyzed. It's like having a grand feast in front of you, but you don't eat a single bite because you don't know where to start. Trap 2. Over-rehearsal. Mentally simulating outcomes 10 times, then self-sabotaging. The second trap is a deeper psychological barrier: over-rehearsal. Do you often rehearse a piece of work from beginning to end in your mind? Multiple times you imagine how your article will be written, how the video's opening will be shot, how the audience will react, and you even plan out the comments section. This mental sandbox simulation sounds diligent, right? But the problem is, you often only simulate the worst possible outcomes. You rehearse 10 times in your mind, and all 10 times you fail. You imagine that the audience won't like it, the content will be criticized, and your efforts will be in vain. When you mentally pre-experience all the potential difficulties and negative outcomes, your brain concludes, this is too risky, better not do it. This isn't laziness, it's your brain's self-preservation mechanism at work. It avoids potential setbacks by simulating failure in advance. So, before you even start, you've already talked yourself out of it. You've overspent the energy needed to start, without any actual output. Trap 3. Self-censorship. Too afraid it won't be good enough or professional enough, so you don't start at all. The third trap, and an invisible killer of countless creators: self-censorship. This trap is closely linked to the second one. After you've over-rehearsed all the terrible possibilities, your internal censor comes online. You start thinking, will what I write be too superficial? Am I qualified to write about this topic? Has someone else already written about this, and better than me? You're too afraid that your work won't be good enough, professional enough, or perfect enough. So, to avoid this imperfection being seen, you choose the safest option, simply not starting. This self-censorship sets an incredibly high bar for yourself, one that's almost impossible to cross. You start judging and criticizing yourself before you even begin creating. This internal pressure completely paralyzes your ability to act. It's not that you lack the ability to write well, it's that you're too afraid of not writing well. This fear of not being good enough ultimately leads to a result of nothing at all. Trap 4. No initiation ritual, lacking a fixed opening act to signal your brain into creative mode. The last trap, and a detail many people overlook, the absence of an initiation ritual. Imagine athletes before a game, warming up and stretching, actors before going on stage, practicing their blocking and breathing exercises. These are their initiation rituals, helping them get into the zone. But what about us creators? Do you often just open your computer, click on a document, and then wait for inspiration to strike without a fixed, repetitive action to tell your brain, hey, it's time to enter creative mode? When you lack a clear opening signal, your brain stays in a vague, uncertain state. It doesn't know whether it should be working, resting, or getting distracted. This ambiguity makes it difficult to switch from everyday mode to creative mode, leading to frequent distractions and ultimately, a delay in starting. The importance of an initiation ritual lies in its ability to create a conditioned reflex for your brain, allowing it to automatically enter a focused mode upon receiving this signal. Do you feel like I've just described your struggles perfectly? That's right. Because I've also been plagued by these psychological traps. But the good news is, these traps have solutions. What are the solutions? I've summarized 3 practical action strategies that can help you bypass these psychological barriers, allowing you to start easily and create consistently. Solution 1. Write the worst version first. Break the spell of perfectionism. The first solution: write the worst version first. Stop waiting for inspiration to overflow before you put pen to paper. Perfectionism is the killer of action. When you allow yourself to write poorly, you actually shed a huge psychological burden. What I do is, I set a garbage draft goal for myself. Today, I just need to write the worst 100 words, or draw the ugliest video storyboard. When you set the goal low enough, and with enough lack of pressure, you'll find that starting becomes incredibly easy. Because writing poorly requires no inspiration and very little courage. And once you start writing, you'll find that those bad versions often unexpectedly lead to new ideas, and sometimes even become the skeleton of your entire work. Starting with the worst draft is the only way to truly find direction. Remember, done is 10,000 times more important than perfect. Solution 2. Establish a personal initiation ritual. Set a creative switch for your brain. The second solution: establish a personal initiation ritual. This is key to helping your brain quickly enter creative mode. This ritual doesn't need to be complex, the emphasis is on consistency and repetition. You can design a personal creative switch for yourself. For example, my ritual: brew a cup of tea and open Notion and write a throwaway sentence. Or, put on your designated headphones and open your writing software and play a specific background music track. This ritual can be any action that helps you relax and concentrate. As you repeat this ritual over time, your brain will automatically link this action to the task of starting to create. Every time you perform this ritual, your brain will know, okay, time to enter focus mode. This way, you can effectively reduce initiation resistance, making starting feel natural. Solution 3. Allow starting is just a warm-up. Lower psychological pressure, ease into the game. The third solution: allow starting is just a warm-up. Often, we hesitate to start because we place too much importance on starting, putting immense pressure on it. We always feel that once we begin, we must shine brightly, and produce astonishing results, but actually, creation is like stretching before exercise. Stretching isn't for performance, it's to warm up the body and prevent injury. The start of creation is also just a warm-up. It doesn't demand that you immediately write a masterpiece, nor does it require you to instantly come up with brilliant ideas. It's just about getting your hands moving and your thoughts flowing. So, before you start creating, tell yourself, today, I'm just here to warm up, to put pen to paper. It's okay if nothing comes out. When you lower your expectations and pressure about starting, you'll find yourself more willing to try. Because it's no longer a huge task, but a relaxed preparatory action. Allowing yourself to just warm up will make it easier to take that first step. You see, you're not lazy, you're just too smart, too afraid to start. But now, you've grasped the secret to breaking through initiation resistance. If you also find yourself stuck at the first step every day, feeling like you're always exploring the path of creation alone, facing all the doubts and pressures by yourself, then I've prepared a daily newsletter specifically designed for creators called IC Lab. In IC Lab, I will write you a letter every day, helping you dissect a psychological obstacle in creation, providing practical methods and warm support. This way, you'll no longer feel alone, no longer get stuck, and you'll receive a dose of motivation and inspiration every day. Because I know that creation shouldn't be a marathon of constantly draining yourself. It should be a journey filled with warmth and companionship. Subscribe to IC Lab and let creation no longer be a solitary journey. https://tmtmtm.gumroad.com. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to give me a like. This is very important to me. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more practical content on creative psychology, high performance, and self-growth in the future. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Remember, you're not lazy, you just need the right strategy and warm companionship. Starting today, bravely hit that start button. See you in the next video.